Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that treat, everyone. I know that we did. Thanks for coming on, 80. Here's track 5, Serpents, which is the demo from Sharon Van Etten. And I believe this came from you, Grant.
Yeah, Sharon Van Etten is one of my favorites for quite a long time. When we had the theme Year of the Snake, there's obviously a way to search, album titles or songs that are about snakes or serpents or asps or all kinds of different things. And this was one of the ones where I searched sort of like, tell me songs about snakes. And then I was like, yes, Serpents from her Tramp album, which is about 12 years old, just floored me. And I went to the demo version because one of the things I love about Sharon Van Etten's singing is just like this total authenticity and no restraint. Just a voice that wails and allows the whole spectrum of her vocal range, which is just so broad. You'll hear it on some of her other songs, and one of my favorite. I think it's a Song Exploder episode where she talks about one of her songs on her later track or later albums, 17, where at one point the producer just said, "Hey, I just want you to wail on this part of the song, her vocals," and she did it, and it was just such this like almost like disintegrating vocal because her body was so involved in singing the lyric, and they kept it in there. And so like she's willing to kind of like push her lyrics in all these different ways, and I think the demo really brought that out because it really isolates her voice right up front, and that I thought was fun. So yeah, when you're listening on Spotify, the playlist will have the demo version. When we show you the video, if you're watching it on YouTube, what you're going to see is what I also thought was cool was her TV debut on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon 12 years ago was this song as her full ensemble and her full band, which is totally rad with the drums and the backup singing. I thought, and I don't want to project this, but it seemed like there was a little bit of nerves playing in there with kind of how she was behind the microphone. I don't know. I might be projecting, but like this is her TV debut, and for an artist that's played live shows and big festivals, this might not have been a problem. But it just seemed like, wow, that's a big deal. It seems like it's kind of cool, and to play this song seemed pretty exciting to me. So that's why the video is what I had in there after this. The song about the metaphor for serpents was the lyrics, I think, was great. She has these tongue-in-cheek lyrics throughout her albums, throughout her songs, that I think are funny, and these interactions with other people. And it opens with, "It was a close call sitting in the back of the room with a bowl." I thought it said, "I had thrown at you." Lyrics said, "A bowl you had owned." I thought it was a like, I threw a bowl at you and it was a close call and you didn't know I was throwing that bowl at you. And that's what's been in my head till I kind of looked at the lyrics. But like the serpents in my mind, and sort of like how you can go to these negatives, and I'm looking for these crimes, I'm looking for um all these different maybe bad things about somebody. I thought that there was a like an embracement or an embracing of the darkness that your mind can go to sometimes, and like the serpents being the metaphor for I guess the dastardly side of that pessimism, or that assuming the worst in people. The opposite of the general positive regard we've talked about is, this person's probably making some bad calls or bad mistakes. Um, I think the musicality of the song too is rocking. I think Sharon Van Etten talked about how she kind of doesn't fit within a genre, her kind of music, and that's what she loves. And that's kind of, as a fan, you kind of are going to get all kinds of different aspects to it. Brett, the album that I shared with you and Diana years ago, Are We There, starts with like this very simple piano. That's one of my favorite albums of all time. I had to put Serpents on here, obviously, or I didn't have to, but I wanted to because of the theme, obviously. But it took me back down to Sharon Van Etten revisiting that I hadn't done in a while. And I didn't know this till yesterday that she just dropped a new project with Sharon Van Etten and the Attachment Theory. Just dropped a new album yesterday. So, and I think they're going to be touring at some point too. So, absolutely still creating music, and it's always an artist that I remember somebody said, you might like Sharon Van Etten. And I think that's all it took for me to say, let me give it a shot. And it was that Are We There album that just sucked me in. So that was Serpents for me. I hope you enjoyed the demo and the video. And if you don't know about Sharon Van Etten, starting with Tramp is a great album. Are We There? She's got obviously some new ones since then that I've just enjoyed every time, and really always exciting and makes you pay attention. So, Brett, I know you've heard of Sharon Van Etten as well, so I'll throw it over to you.
Yeah, I've heard about Sharon Van Etten because of you, and love it. Uh, she definitely 100% vocal range, like full range. It's incredible. Love this track. Definitely fun to hit the theme, sort of on the nose. She's a 1981 metal rooster, so
Cool.
so not a snake, but singing about snakes, singing about serpents, that counts. So she gets a slot. I think it's a great slot. It's a great pick. I like that she's right after 80 Bell. I love the story about her performance, and yeah, I definitely feel a little bit of nerves, but maybe also that's I am curious sometimes about performance anxiety versus like how does that shape the performance, to sort of steal a little bit from the poison and the medicine of venom. Like it could be that makes that performance, particularly unique and flavored in a certain way. It certainly does for me when I watch it versus listening to the studio recording. So yeah, I thought it was a great one. Sean, over to you.
Well, the project made for an interesting contrast for me in terms of the difference in the YouTube video and the demo song. I enjoyed seeing the YouTube video a lot, seeing it live, like you said, like some of the body language, even after the song ends, her body language with Jimmy Fallon afterwards, you could tell there was something that had them twisted up a little bit. And then even like she's just so totally immersed in it. Even at the end of the song, she's down there, fiddling with the pedals. I don't know if that's for an effect or she's trying to fix something, but it just looks like a pure artist who's in it for the music. So I enjoyed seeing that side of it. And I think what I like about the album version instead of the demo version is just the way the voice intensity builds as the song progresses. In the demo version, it kind of blows you away right away. Like she opens and it feels like, wow, the lights are bright and it is on. So I thought that was an interesting contrast that was there. But you chose the album version, Grant. I'm sorry, the demo version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was just interested to know. You commented on that a bit, but I was wanting to hear you talk about, given the different versions of this song for the Spotify part of it, what drew you to the demo version?
Excuse me. Some of it is, I think, the option to include the demo version or an alternate version and sharing it. So I went to the album version, loved the album version, and then when I saw that there was this opportunity to share something that I have the album, but I don't have the deluxe album that has the demos on there, and we do tend to kind of like counter the Spotify position that we're in for a lot of reasons. But what Spotify does introduce a little bit is sort of these extra deluxe extended albums that I might not go rebuy the album, but I have the ability to experience that part of it and see the 5.5 minute version of Serpents that she might be working out in that demo still, how she's going to do certain things. And so I feel that privilege to be able to kind of hear that part of the process while also recognizing the fully produced album version. And then I was able to share the Jimmy Fallon live episode where you get kind of the full ensemble in this. So to me, it felt like it was good to share multiple aspects of the same art and the artist and the different versions. So I felt good about that, to say this and this are really cool. And they're both different versions of that song that depends on the space. To kind of go back to what 80 was saying too, like the space, kind of writing the song for the space. And I felt like, Sharon sitting in a living room playing her acoustic guitar, wailing this song away, felt like the demo version versus the on stage plugged in loud ensemble version that really rocks as well. So it just felt good to give people both options.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's jump into it. Here's Serpents, the demo version if you're on Spotify, or the live version if you're on YouTube, by Sharon Van Etten off of her album Tramp, the deluxe edition from 2012.